became clear very quickly that young Dolph was going to be a star, and so Gotti waged war with him through music.
Of all of this, again, Hernandez-Govan, who's facing charges for first-degree murder, conspiracy, and attempted first-degree murder in connection to the shooting death of Memphis rapper Young Dolph in November of 2020.
It's been almost 4 years since Young Dolph's murder sent shockwaves through the rap world, a tragedy that left fans stunned, the industry rattled, and Memphis forever scarred. But now, a courtroom bombshell has flipped everything upside down. And suddenly, the conversation isn't just...
But at the same time, now he in hide mode because he can't even push that agenda. No, he can't sell no music. He can't sell himself.
He don't want about justice for Dolph anymore. It's about power. It's about connections. And most of all, it's about silence. Because the question hanging in the air, the one nobody can escape, is simple. Where is Yo Gotti? Nearly 4 years after Young Dolph's murder rocked the hip-hop world, the case is back in the spotlight with a twist no one saw coming. Hernandez-Govan, accused of being the mastermind behind the hit, keeps seeing his trial delayed, and every pushback adds more smoke to the fire. But what really lit up the internet? The brutal murder of Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, followed by Gotti's sudden vanishing act from the public eye. No charges, no courtroom mention, but his silence? That's what's screaming the loudest. When Govan stood before a Memphis judge during pre-trial hearings, he never said names directly. Instead, he dropped cryptic lines, hinting at outside conversations and big money floating around. Fans wasted no time connecting the dots. Conspiracies took off instantly, while Yo Gotti slipped completely into ghost mode. No interviews, no press, not even a shout-out for Moneybagg Yo's biggest promo run. For someone who lives on Instagram showing off luxury, CMG wins, and Memphis pride, the sudden quiet felt off, suspicious. His last post still sits untouched. The comments now a battlefield of theories and demands. And then the internet detectives clocked in. YouTubers, Reddit sleuths, Twitter threads, all dissecting Govan's every word like it was a true crime series. Hashtags like hashtag Where's Gotti, hashtag CMG Silence, and hashtag Dolph Trials started climbing. Spreading from Memphis to Atlanta, everywhere his empire stretches. Even his own team started acting different. The hype men? Silent. CMG's co-manager? No public moves. Black youngster who never misses a chance to post. Went completely dark. Not even a joke. Not even a meme. That's not random. That's deliberate. But here's where it flips. This isn't just about the courtroom or headlines anymore. It's about the strange quiet at the center of Southern rap, when the self-proclaimed king of Memphis goes radio silent at a time this explosive. It doesn't feel like retreat. It feels like strategy. Some say he's laying low for safety. Others swear he's plotting something major behind the curtain. Either way, the facts haven't changed. No charges, no suspect label, no paperwork tying him to Dolph's murder. Yet perception is its own weapon. And right now, Gotti's ghost mode is louder than if he grabbed the mic himself. Because for a man who built his career on control, strategy, and being 3 steps ahead, this silence, it's deafening. Blogs won't shut up. Fan theories spiral daily. And whether he wants it or not, Gotti's disappearance has now become part Young Dolph's story. A storyline that only keeps growing louder. Before the headlines, before his name hit the blogs, Hernandez-Govan was just another figure moving through Memphis. Street ties? Yes. Known in certain circles? Absolutely. But to the public, he was barely a blip. To law enforcement, though, Govan had been on the radar for years. A Memphis native with a history, he wasn't always seen as a key player in Young Dolph's murder. Until suddenly, everything shifted. In late 2022, the case flipped. Prosecutors unveiled a twist nobody expected, pulling Govan from the background straight into the spotlight. That November, the Shelby County grand jury came down heavy, indicting him on 3 major charges. First-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit murder. According to District Attorney Steve Mulroy, Govan wasn't just in the mix. He was the alleged mastermind behind the whole hit. The ambush that claimed Young Dolph's life went down on November 17, 2021, outside Makeda's Homemade Cookies, a South Memphis spot Dolph was known to support. Prosecutors say Govind didn't fire the gun, but he pulled the strings. Court documents paint him as the man behind the curtain, orchestrating the hit, setting the plan, and arranging what they call a calculated execution, a setup designed to shake the city. What stunned the public wasn't just the charges. It was the timing. His indictment came nearly a year after Dolph's murder. That gap sent a clear message. This case wasn't simple. Investigators weren't rushing. They were peeling back layers of connections, shadow deals, and backroom conversations, trying to piece together a puzzle bigger than anyone imagined. And then came a twist that made the story even darker. Hernandez Govind wasn't just tied to Memphis streets. He was also the father of Destiny, La Cash Desto Govind, a rising female rapper with major cosigns, including Lil Uzi Vert. But just weeks before Govind's indictment, tragedy struck. In September 2022, Desto was shot and killed in Houston, Texas. The timing? Haunting. Officially, Houston police never linked her killing to Dolph's case. But fans and internet detectives couldn't ignore the coincidence. Was it retaliation? A warning? Or something even deeper? On paper, no connection has been confirmed. But what we do know is law enforcement have been watching Govind long before making their move. That quiet surveillance signals something bigger. This isn't just about one deadly ambush at a cookie shop. It's about shifting alliances, power plays, and a city caught in the crossfire of music and street politics. And as Govind sits waiting for trial, the pieces of this puzzle are still moving into place. Nearly 4 years since young Dolph's murder shattered Memphis in the rap world, the case has taken a turn that feels ripped from a movie. In pre-trial hearings, prosecutors claim they had the digital receipts, phone pings, text threads, and even recorded conversations tying Hernandez Govind to the alleged masterminds. The full wiretaps remain sealed, but prosecutors insist the trail points to Govind pulling strings from shadows. He pled not guilty to every charge: murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy. Yet in early 2023, he walked out of jail on a $90,000 bond. Memphis was outraged. To them, this wasn't just a legal gamble. It was a slap in the face to Dolph's legacy. But what really set the city and the internet on fire wasn't the bond. It was Govind's cryptic words in court. While painting himself as a grieving father who had just buried his daughter, rapper Lotta Cash Desto, Govind let slip a phrase that hit like dynamite. Others with influence. He didn't name names, but the message was loud enough to rattle the internet. Bloggers, YouTubers, and Reddit detectives latched on instantly, convinced he was hinting at bigger players hiding behind the curtain. Prosecutors begged the court not to free him, warning that releasing Govind could endanger witnesses and compromise a deeper investigation. Even federal agencies were monitoring. Still, despite all that, Govind walked free. And with that one vague but heavy phrase, he accidentally sparked a digital wildfire that spread way past Memphis. Others with influence. Those 3 words became the fuel for endless theories. Fans dissected lyrics. Bloggers dug through old interviews, and amateur sleuths combed social media timelines searching for hidden clues. What was once a murder trial had now become a hip-hop whodunit, pulling powerful names into the storm even without official court documents. The case had already been messy, but now it was radioactive. And soon, the internet's collective gaze shifted one of the most powerful forces in Memphis rap. Yo Gotti and his empire, CMG. Though never named in court filings, the tension between Dolph and CMG was no secret. Their feud stretched back years, igniting after Dolph rejected a CMG deal and chose to stay independent. That decision turned personal, sparking diss tracks, public shots, and behind-the-scenes drama. In 2017, Dolph's bulletproof SUV was sprayed with over 100 bullets in Charlotte. Yo Gotti was briefly labeled person of interest, though never charged. Instead, CMG artist Black Youngster took the fall, only to later walk free for lack of evidence. But in the streets, those scars never healed. So when Govind uttered others with influence, fans connected the dots back to CMG like it was second nature. Online forums exploded. People combed through old beef timelines, pulling receipts that fuel theories of hidden hands. Even more suspicious? Yo Gotti's sudden silence. For a man who built his career on public flexing, label promotion, and non-stop appearances, the sudden vanishing act was deafening. Gotti skipped shows, went dark on social media, and CMG affiliates followed suit. Moneybag Yo? Quiet. Black Youngsta? Ghost. To outsiders, it looked like a coordinated retreat. To fans, it looked like smoke rising from fire. Then came the twist no one saw coming. After months of speculation, a Memphis jury shocked the world by finding Hernandez-Govan not guilty on all charges. First-degree murder? Cleared. Conspiracy? Thrown out. After just 3 hours of deliberation, Govan walked free, leaving Memphis stunned. But with that verdict came an even bigger cloud of uncertainty. If Govan wasn't the mastermind, then who was? And what exactly did he mean when he said others with influence? The legal system may have closed a chapter, but for the streets and the internet, the book is still wide open, because the deeper you look, the darker the story gets. From day one, Dolph's assassination was never just another street beef. This was a community hero gunned down in broad daylight outside Makita's Cookies, a black-owned business he championed. Surveillance caught 2 mass shooters unloading dozens of rounds before fleeing in a white Mercedes, later tied to a previous shooting in Covington. That link made it clear this was no isolated act. It was a coordinated ambush, and Dolph's independence in an industry built on control made the tragedy feel even more sinister. The case widened with Govan's indictment. His own daughter, Lotta Cash Desto, had just been murdered in Houston when his name surfaced in the plot against Dolph. Prosecutors accused him of orchestrating the hit, but his defense claimed there was no physical evidence tying him to the scene. Meanwhile, fans noticed patterns too strange to ignore. CMG's silence, online unfollows, labeled drama, and whispers of sealed federal files. To the internet, this wasn't coincidence. It was choreography. Things hit another level when a witness in court briefly named Anthony Big Juke Mims, Yo Gotti's brother, as allegedly placing a 6-figure bounty on Dolph. The courtroom went into an immediate sidebar, the moment buried from the record. Then, in January 2024, Big Juke was murdered outside a Memphis restaurant after attending a funeral. Police confirmed it was a targeted hit, but no suspects were named. The timing, so close to the trial, so close to his name surfacing in court, set the internet ablaze. Was it revenge? Retaliation? A cover-up? Nobody knew for sure, but speculation roared louder than ever. Officially, Yo Gotti's name has never been mentioned in court. No filings, no testimony, no charges. To some, that's proof he's innocent and uninvolved. But to others, the silence itself feels like the loudest clue of all, especially when sealed evidence, missing witnesses, and federal oversight keeps surfacing in whispers but never in public record. The tension leaves fans torn between believing in justice and believing in conspiracy. Now, with only Justin Johnson, Cornelia Smith, and Hernandez-Govan tied to case, and Govan already acquitted, many are convinced the truth is buried deeper than the public will ever see. The trial might be over, but the questions are not. Online detectives still piece together timelines from lyrics, interviews, and hidden posts, convinced this case is bigger than anyone admits. For some, it's about hip-hop's collision with real-life violence. For others, it's about power, money, and control. But for everyone who loved Dolph, the question refuses to fade. If Govan didn't mastermind the hit, who did, and what did he mean by others with influence? Until those answers come, there's one name that will keep echoing in the background, louder with every day of silence. Where's Yo Gotti?